Hi everybody. Today's video is going to be sort of a story time. Um, I've been thinking a lot about the Astroworld uh, massacre incident. I'm not sure what they're calling it now, but the Travis Scott concert, since it happened, it reminded me a lot of something similar that happened to me. And I did some research, and there's been similar things like this that have happened through music history. I found a pretty informative, really interesting documentary about it as I was doing my research for this video. Um, and if I can find it again, I will link it down below if anyone's interested and wants to see that. Um, but the incident that happened to me was during the Harley Davidson 100th anniversary tour. It was a massive tour with an awesome concert, several stages, uh, a few days worth. Um, I saw some people who are no longer with us. The ones that stand out for me are the Doobie Brothers. They have several classic rock hits. Check them out if you don't know who they are. They're awesome. And the lead singer actually posed for my pictures, but somehow I ended up uh, taking double exposures and none of my pictures turned out, and I'm really bummed about that. But um, he was an awesome guy. I also saw George Clinton, and I think he's the one I saw the best because I got to sit the closest because people were still walking around looking at other things. Like, they had motorcycles on display and things for sale. It was a really awesome experience as far as that goes. Uh, I also saw Journey. It was uh, the lead singer was Steve Augeri. He was a nice guy too. Um, and I was actually sitting next to the nephew of the keyboardist of Journey during the concert, and he was just a little boy, so it was fun for me. He was talkative, and he was collecting guitar picks from the ground. And I think somebody, probably my mom, picked up a couple of them for me. Um, and he picked up some more, and we traded and looked at what the other one had, and it was really fun. We sort of made friends during our time sitting next to each other at the concert. Um, I think that might have been one of my favorites is Journey and the Doobie Brothers and George Clinton too. I liked all of them that day. Um, the final performance of the evening was Kid Rock, and by the time he was going to go on stage, I did have some awesome pictures of him, by the way, which I no longer have. But by the time he was about to come out on stage, it was getting dark. People were drunk. And they were, since I was lower, since I'm in a wheelchair, people were standing behind me because you could look above me and see better. But then people behind those people were shoving forward, and it was just one of those things. People just kept pushing forward, and there was a barrier in front of me. And it was a metal barrier, metal poles. So I had nowhere to go. And they just kept pushing and pushing. And uh, I was concerned for the little boy next to me. So I picked him up. I reassured him that I'm not going to hurt him. I'm just going to pick him up and put him. I had a lot of space on my footrest. Someone could basically put their feet in front of me, between my feet, and lean back and not quite sit in my lap, but you could do that too. So I just picked him up and put him in front of me so that he had some of the protection of my wheelchair frame like I did. And um, they just kept pushing, and my mom was screaming for security. Security was useless. They basically, um, we got thrown out. Long story short, we got thrown out. And they were saying that I didn't belong there because I was in a wheelchair. And the funny thing about that is um, Harley Davidson and the Hells Angels and all those guys, they raise money for places like the MDA. So they had a little boy there that day on stage from the MDA. Um, Not only did they throw us out, they dragged us out. They dragged my mom out because she was yelling and screaming for security. They dragged me out. I guess I was guilty by association. I don't know. And so when they physically dragged me out. They grabbed my chair and started dragging me. And I was trying to hit these people because they're dragging me, and touching someone's wheelchair like that is a form of violation. And my wheelchair started falling apart. The tires came off of it, the rubber of the tires, and they still continued to drag me out. And they said, "Why did you bring him? You're not. They're not supposed to be here." Um, and it just became a thing. Um, my mom wrote a letter to Harley Davidson, and I found out years later that they did reply, and they sent a bunch of merchandise, like clothes and stuff, like little clothes, and I don't know, whatever. I never saw any of it. I didn't even know it had happened until years later. My mom kept it and put it on some dolls that she was making, and I had no idea. But after that, I got rid of my entire Harley Davidson slash motorcycle collection. And to this day, I don't have a single motorcycle, Harley Davidson or generic, in my possession, in my room, anywhere. Um, I might go back to my love of classic cars. But yeah, it's really, really sad what happened, and disappointing, especially for uh, people who support the MDA and making money for them, raising money for them. It was really horrible and disappointing to hear them speak to someone in a wheelchair the way they did and to treat me the way they did. Um, it was all out of control at that point. I realized that, but they could have been more helpful and more compassionate instead of, not that I consider myself a victim in any way, I don't like that word for this, but blaming the victim for being at the concert and supporting their anniversary tour. Um, I don't know. I just haven't had any desire to continue to enjoy motorcycles, really. Uh, Maybe if I was friends with bikers again, that might change. But for my entire life, especially through high school, I felt like somebody with a biker soul because I always had my leather jacket with me. And it was a big part of my life. And for that to happen was horrible for me. And I haven't really told anyone too much about it. And I just think that since this whole Travis Scott Astroworld thing happened, that I should finally tell my story. Um, that this does happen to people, and I wish that we were all more considerate and mindful of each other because people are all there to have fun and enjoy the concerts, not to get shoved and trampled and possibly die. Um, just be kind to each other and have fun, please. Um, I guess that's all I have to tell about this particular situation. If you have any questions, um, please don't hesitate to ask. I will answer any respectfully asked question. Um, so leave me some comments, some feedback, say hi, anything, and I appreciate each and every one of you for being here, and I will catch you in the next video. Thank you so very much for watching.